Before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself questioning your worth because of how someone treated you? Maybe you've spent countless nights replaying conversations, searching for clues about how he truly feels. If that's you, you're not alone. Too many of us settle for less than we deserve because we mistake bare minimum effort for love. Today, we're uncovering the subtle yet powerful signs that a man doesn't value you, so you can reclaim your worth and stop wasting time on someone who isn't worthy of it. Recognizing these behaviors isn't about blaming yourself. It's about seeing the situation for what it is. The truth is, actions speak louder than words, and when a man values you, it shows, not just in grand gestures, but in the little things he does consistently. So if you've ever felt confused by mixed signals or stuck waiting for him to step up, stay with me. These 4 behaviors will give you the clarity you need to move forward confidently, whether that means addressing the issues directly or walking away for good. Ready to see the truth for what it is? Let's get into it. Let's be real. When a man truly values you, you won't have to question your place in his life. But if he's making you feel like an option, it's a clear sign he doesn't see your worth. Maybe he's constantly cancelling plans at the last minute or leaving your texts on read for hours, only to come back with excuses that barely make sense. Worse yet, he might be keeping you on standby while he explores other options, giving just enough attention to keep you around, but never enough to make you feel secure. It's the kind of behavior that leaves you confused, anxious, and questioning your worth. A man who values you makes time for you, not just when it's convenient for him, but because he genuinely wants to. He includes you in his life plans, introduces you to his friends, and makes sure you know you're important. If that's not happening, it's time to stop making excuses for his behavior. Respect yourself enough to see that you deserve more than crumbs of affection. It's not about demanding to be someone's world, it's about refusing to be their backup plan. So if you're constantly left wondering where you stand, that's your answer right there. Don't ignore it. Here's the hard truth. When a man genuinely values you, he values your emotions too. But if he's quick to dismiss how you feel, calling you too sensitive, overreacting, or worse, making you feel guilty for bringing up what bothers you, it's a major red flag. This kind of behavior isn't just inconsiderate, it's manipulative. It's a tactic that shifts the blame back onto you, making you question if your feelings are valid at all. Over time, you might find yourself suppressing your emotions just to keep the peace, losing your voice in the process. But let me tell you this, your feelings are never too much for the right person. A man who values you listens, even if he doesn't always understand right away. He tries to see things from your perspective instead of shutting you down. He asks questions, seeks clarity, and makes adjustments. Not because he's perfect, but because he cares. So if you constantly feel like you have to defend how you feel, that's a sign you're with someone who isn't willing to grow with you emotionally. Respect isn't just about how someone treats you when things are good, it's about how they respond when you're honest about what hurts. Don't let anyone convince you that your emotions are too much to handle. Let's talk about commitment, or rather the lack of it. One of the clearest signs that a man doesn't value you is his refusal to define the relationship. Maybe it's been months and he still refers to you as just hanging out. Or worse, he dodges the conversation entirely with lines like, "Let's just see where things go." If this sounds familiar, it's time to take a step back. His hesitation isn't about wanting to go with the flow, it's about keeping his options open while you stay emotionally invested. The reality is a man who truly values you won't leave you guessing. He'll want to make his intentions clear because he knows your worth and doesn't want to risk losing you. Commitment isn't about rushing into labels. It's about making sure you know you're not wasting your time on someone who isn't serious. So if he's constantly vague about your future or claims he's not ready, ask yourself this. If he's not ready now, what's he waiting for? Your time and energy are valuable, and you deserve someone who treats them that way. Stop accepting half-hearted promises and start demanding the clarity you deserve. If he can't give you that, it might be time to redefine the relationship yourself by walking away. Here's the thing. A healthy relationship is about balance. Both partners making sacrifices and compromises for each other. But if you constantly find yourself putting his needs first while yours are ignored, that's a glaring sign he doesn't value you. Maybe it's small things, like always choosing what to watch or where to eat, but it's also the bigger issues, like when he expects you to drop everything for him, but can't seem to do the same in return. Over time, this dynamic leaves you feeling unseen, unheard, and emotionally exhausted. A man who values you will want to make you happy, not just when it's convenient for him, but because he genuinely cares. He'll be willing to compromise, listen to what you need, and take your feelings into account when making decisions. And let's be clear, valuing you isn't about grand gestures or gifts. It's about showing up consistently, even in the small things. It's about being there when you need him most, not just when it's easy. So, if you're always the one bending over backward while he barely lifts a finger, it's time to reassess what you're accepting. Love shouldn't feel like a one-way street. You deserve a partner who sees you as an equal, not an afterthought. Let's get real for a moment. Why do we overlook these red flags when they're so obvious in hindsight? The truth is, it often comes down to one thing: hope. We hold on to the potential of what could be rather than seeing the reality of what is. Maybe you remember how sweet he was in the beginning, or you tell yourself he's just going through a phase. But the hard truth is, a man's consistent behavior reveals his true intentions, not the rare moments when he decides to step up. We make excuses, convincing ourselves that if we just give him more time or show him how much we care, he'll change. But here's a lesson you can't ignore. You cannot love someone into treating you right. Change only happens when someone wants to change, not because you've bent over backward to prove your worth. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can stop wasting time on someone who doesn't deserve you. Recognizing red flags isn't about being cynical. It's about protecting your heart and making sure you invest in someone who invests in you too. If you find yourself constantly justifying his behavior, it's time to ask yourself, are you holding on to him or just the idea of him? If you've realized you're dealing with a man who doesn't value you, the next step isn't about confronting him. It's about reclaiming your self-worth. It starts with setting boundaries, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Boundaries aren't about controlling him, they're about protecting your peace. Communicate clearly what you will and won't tolerate, and don't apologize for it. Your worth isn't negotiable. Then focus on pouring that energy back into yourself. Whether it's pursuing your passions, reconnecting with friends, or simply taking time to reflect on what you truly want. Healing isn't about waiting for an apology you might never get. It's about deciding that you deserve better and acting like it. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your worth instead of making you question it. And remember, self-worth isn't about being flawless. It's about recognizing your value even with your imperfections. The right person won't just acknowledge your worth, they'll add to it. So stop waiting for someone else to validate you and start validating yourself. You're allowed to outgrow relationships that no longer serve you, and sometimes the most powerful decision you can make is to walk away. Here's a truth that's hard to accept. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk away. It's not about playing games or trying to make him chase you, it's about choosing yourself when he won't. Walking away doesn't mean you never cared. It means you care enough about yourself to stop accepting less than what you deserve. When you decide to leave a situation where you're undervalued, you're sending a message to him, but more importantly to yourself, that you refuse to settle. It's a declaration that you'd rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't appreciate your worth. And yes, it will hurt deeply, but temporary loneliness is far better than the slow erosion of your self-esteem that comes from staying where you're not valued. Leaving creates space for someone who actually deserves a place in your life. Someone who won't make you question how they feel about you because they'll show it in everything they do. So if you've been waiting for a sign that it's time to walk away, take this as it. You are stronger than you think, and your worth isn't determined by who chooses to stay. It's determined by what you're willing to walk away from. Walking away is just the beginning. What comes next is the real work, rebuilding yourself. It's tempting to fill the void with distractions or jump into something new, but real healing takes time and intention. Start by embracing the silence instead of fearing it. Use this time to rediscover who you are outside of the relationship, to remember the passions, goals, and dreams that might have taken a back seat. Journaling, meditation, and spending time with supportive friends can help you process your emotions instead of burying them. And let's be clear, healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel empowered, and others you'll find yourself missing him despite everything. That's okay. Progress isn't about never looking back, it's about choosing to keep moving forward. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not to prove anything to him, but to prove it to yourself. Your worth isn't defined by who stayed or who left. It's defined by how you rise after being broken. Forgive yourself for the times you accepted less than what you deserved. And remember that letting go isn't about erasing the past. It's about freeing your future. Every step you take away from what isn't for you brings you closer to what is. As you move forward, it's time to embrace a new mindset. One where your self-worth isn't tied to anyone's approval but your own. Remind yourself daily that you are enough, just as you are. Set standards that reflect how you want to be treated and refuse to lower them no matter how lonely it gets. The right person won't ask you to shrink to fit into their life. They'll rise to meet you at your level. Invest in your growth, pursue your passions, and build a life so fulfilling that anyone who wants to be part of it must add to it, not take away. And most importantly, be patient. Healing takes time, but every step you take towards loving yourself is a step towards attracting someone who will love you the same way. Let go of the need to rush into something new and trust that what's meant for you won't require you to abandon yourself to keep it. Your worth isn't defined by who chooses to love you. It's defined by how fiercely you choose to love yourself. Keep building, keep rising, and know that the best is yet to come. You've survived the pain of letting go. Now it's time to thrive in the power of moving forward.